And good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of the Grimaldo Group, where we love helping families create wealth through home ownership. Not only just families, but anyone for that matter, right?
Yes, sir.
My name's Angel, and this is Juan, the one and only. And today we have a very special guest. He's one of the realtors, the top producers here, and that is Andres.
He's the rookie of the year.
González.
Yeah, de Salcedo.
De Salceda.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but
I'm
otra
sorry,
vez,
sorry.
I think we gotta do that. What is your full name
Andrés González de Salceda.
and the next last name?
Villavicencio.
All right.
That's
if you
kinda
need a
like,
next- think of that telenovela.
Yeah,
type
soap
of name.
opera name, you know.
Andrés González de Salceda, Villavicencio.
Con ustedes.
Lord have
Desde
mercy.
Puebla.
De-
No.
Desde la Ciudad de México.
Oh, de la Ciudad de México.
Yeah, he's a DJ,
He's an actor.
right?
Yeah, he was in his other life. He was an actor. I think he's gonna be an actor someday.
And he's not 29, as if some young lady's already asking. Or,
Yeah, guys, please.
you know, he's
only
you know,
19.
he's only 19.
Turning 20 this September.
All right. All right.
Hey,
we got-
he's adding numbers to his age, and we're like 25.
Hey, I'm 35, so you're catching up.
Exactly.
Anyways, what's today's subject? I know it's got to revolve around real estate, does it not?
100%. So wanted to talk about the stats, and because people are still kind of hesitant to purchase, and I'm sure you guys have seen out there, there's some pushback, and people are wondering if the rates are going to come down and what the
Right.
rates are. And at the end of the day, guys, if you're renting a home, you're paying 100% interest rate. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. I mean, basically, all that money that you're giving to your landlord is not staying anywhere in your pocket.
Exactly. You're not buying down your mortgage. You're not building wealth with equity. You're not taking advantage of the tax advantages.
But there's still people out and about actively in the market. They're buying and selling.
Yep.
That's taking place, correct?
Yep. Well, here in the Phoenix metro area, there was 7,257 homes sold just in the last month, which is down.
Wow.
Which again, is down month over month from previous year as well, about 8.1%, and it's 6% down from this last month. Is that bad? Not really. And the reason is the inventory is super low. We have about 7,083 homes available. Out of that inventory from last year, month over month, we're 3.1% down. But if you compare it to last year, we're 41.8% down. That's a big, big difference.
That is a big number. That's almost 50%.
Yeah.
12,000 homes
So what does that mean, guys?
to 7,000.
I mean, for people out there, well, 12,000, 7,000 year over year. So basically, the inventory has dropped substantially, meaning that people aren't selling their homes.
That is correct. And so you have a lot of folks that don't want to list their homes. They have such a great interest rate.
Exactly.
Why would they? Unless they really have to. So the folks that are selling, maybe are getting a job transfer or want to downsize or upgrade. There's all kinds of reasons why the ones that are selling are selling.
Yeah,
100%.
And what the reason for the low inventory is because sellers they're not looking to sell their home right now. They're most likely sitting around at 3-4%, maybe some even 2%. And for them, in their eyes, it just doesn't make sense for them to sell that home and then purchase at a 7% interest rate.
Yeah, what we're seeing though is people are investing, they're renting their homes, and that's what we're actually helping you guys with and showing you the path. We're gonna have our seminar again on the 14th of October,
14th of October.
and we're gonna go over how to invest and how to not put so much money down and maybe own 2-3 homes in the next year or so.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I've seen sellers or people that own their home, which have a beautiful rate, they can capitalize on that additional income they make if they rent their property. So what they're doing is they're using the money to pay their mortgage, and then the extra, it goes to the other mortgage, which in essence, they can own 2 homes and have the same payment, kind of.
Exactly. And that's
Oh, yeah.
awesome because a lot of people who we see that do have, 2, 3, 4% interest rate, I mean, they're probably sitting around $1,200, $1,300 payments.
Yep.
And average rent right now, I would say, is around $2,100.
21, 22, depending on where you're at. So that leaves you with an extra $1,000. So if your mortgage is $2,500, now you're paying $1,500, but you have 2 homes.
Correct.
And
And
this
you're
is what-
building equity in 2 homes. I had a client who I was blessed to assist, and he has $1,000 mortgage in the house that he was living in, and he qualified to purchase a newer home, a nicer home in a nicer neighborhood.
That's awesome.
So he's renting his existing or his what used to be his primary home for $2,500. Okay,
Wow.
it's in Gilbert, and he's able to rent it, and so that's a $1,500 difference, right? And then he was able to get a very nice concession on the purchase of his new home. He got 4% concession, and he also got a price reduction. Okay, and he's happy as can be because of the $1,500 plus that cash flow helps him pay the mortgage over here, which right now it's like $3,500. But if you take the $1,500, now you know that you're paying less for the new beautiful house. I fell in love with that house. I keep wanting to go back and visit him.
That's awesome. And this is where the math adds up, and this is the compound interest working, right? Because the tenant's paying your mortgage, you're paying your mortgage, and they're subsidizing also the other mortgage. So they're not only paying your house, but they're also helping you pay the other house, which, again, this is how people get rich, right? Because every single
Yep.
month that goes by, that property goes up in value, they owe less, they take the tax advantage because now they're a landlord, right? They have they can have more deductions on their income on their account. So consult with your CPA.
Yep.
Yet that's basically how it works. So again, if you guys are on the fence, if you're thinking about it, I say if you want to look at the stats, don't look at the news, right?
Yes,
I
exactly.
wouldn't encourage you guys to watch the news because they're bad.
Well, as I've mentioned in the past, numbers don't lie. So these are statistics, and then rather than looking at the news constantly and seeing, because again, I see clients that will call me and say, "Hey, Angel, I want that house, but look at the price."
Yep.
Well, if we start digging, I was able to bring a price reduction, and then the concessions kick in, and what you're thinking is not reachable for you might be.
Exactly. Yeah, and even the rates where they're at right now, like just Angels just said, the ability to get seller concessions. And there's some areas, especially in, Maricopa County, where you may find a couple homes that are needing desperately a buyer to buy the house. And you could find a desperate seller which can give you a large sum of concessions, possibly a price reduction, and as well as, repairs. I actually had a client myself in Avondale. They were able to buy their home. It was listed for, I believe, $431. They got the home for $396. That's a big number right there by itself.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of that, we were able to actually get a full entire roof replacement at the value of $15,000.
Wow.
Love it. Good job.
And $20,000 seller concessions.
So
Now-
beautiful.
This is also important, guys, because you're working with rock stars. I mean, these guys. We just finished the negotiation. The property was listed for how much, Angel?
If you're the one here in Goodyear,
Yep.
we're talking about they wanted 360. We went in and after dancing around, we were able to get it for 350, and then we were able to get an additional $10,000.
keep dancing.
Yes, and then towards the end, we were able to get an additional 5,000, and
We
so
kept dancing.
we're looking good, and it appraised. Everything's hunky dory.
And what was the rate?
The interest rate is I gotta confirm, but it's gonna be very aggressive. But they're gonna potentially pay it off cash.
This couple that is buying this property, they work with us several times, and every time somebody buys a house,
Yes.
it's super expensive, right? I don't remember anyone telling me, any one of my clients saying, "You know what, Juan, this is the perfect time to buy the house because the property value is exactly
Yes.
where I want it to be. The interest rate is exactly where I want it to be." We're all scared, right? When the market was bad in 2011 to 2014, 15, nobody was buying. Why? Because they were scared. And now what? We're scared. And guess what? The prices keep going up. So just so you know, the inventory is at almost 2 months of inventory, which is very low. We have not added properties the way we should be. We're not building the way we should be. The builders slowed down. And what's going to happen? The properties are going to continue to appreciate because of supply and demand.
Yeah.
As long as we don't manage the inventory, that's not going to happen. And we are 5 million homes behind when it comes to the whole country. So what this means, guys, is that the inventory is not being supplied by the builders or the developers, the people not selling. So this is going to put a big, big hurdle when it comes to the property values. They're going to continue to rise because of the supply is not there.
Well, the population continues to increase
Exactly.
here in
So-
Maricopa.
So that's basic. That's the biggest problem, right? Everywhere. I mean, we all have kids. The kids have kids, and we just keep growing. But we have not been building to supply that demand that is out there. So there's a lot of huge appetite, and you've seen these little houses being built all over the place, right?
Yes, I'm starting to see the newer properties are giving you less of a land or lot, and then you start seeing the townhouses.
Yep. So,
So-
those houses, and they're renting, they're not cheap. They're
No.
$2,000 a month. But
Yeah.
where I'm going with that is the government sees a need, and these guys are going out there, and I mean, they're doing
Yeah.
what's needed. There's demand out there for property. It's being supplied by them. So if you're waiting for the perfect time, you're always going to continue waiting, and just keep this in mind, guys. Again, I know I mentioned it. It's not the only time we mention it. 100% of your payment to a rental is 100% interest because it's basically going to the garbage.
Yes.
When you own your home, you're paying down that mortgage, no matter what the interest rate is. You're doing a beautiful service to yourself. Sorry about that, guys. You're doing a beautiful service to yourself because you're paying yourself, basically.
And a lot of people are like, you know what? I'll just wait for the interest rates to come down. And the funny thing about that is last year, when the interest rate was around 5%, how much were people paying above asking to be able to get the home?
Yeah.
Exactly. So this again, that's what I'm saying. When is the perfect time?
Well,
The perfect time is
I would say
whenever you're
right
ready.
now.
So you keep waiting. Let's say right now you're buying at a higher interest rate. You're going to buy at a lower price. Would you rather pay a higher price at a lower interest rate, or would you rather pay that lower price, maybe with a higher rate right now,
Yeah.
and then if the rates drop, guess what? You can refinance. But if you're renting and you're waiting for the rates to drop, every single monthly payment, if it's $2,000 in a year, that's going to be $24,000.
Well, you know,
right?
if you go with that scenario, the folks that are waiting for the rates to drop as they are in a lease and they renew a lease, God forbid you renew your lease and 3 months later something happens and the rates drop dramatically. Now you're stuck with a lease.
For a whole year, and you can't get out.
And you can't get out. And then by the time you get out and you go purchase your house, well, everyone else is already out there as well. What do you think
Exactly.
happens then?
Let's put things in perspective, and that's where you're going, Angel. Like, what do you guys think is going to happen if rates drop?
Yeah. Well, everyone else that's
It's going to be catastrophic.
People are going to go out there and start buying. Well, guess what? We don't have
frenzy.
enough inventory right now.
It's a frenzy. It would be a frenzy like in 2020, 21. People were going, and then you had 50 offers to one particular house. Money is being thrown at these houses. And so it wouldn't be a bad thing for you to potentially purchase a house today. Consider purchasing today if you can. And then if the interest rates do drop, you can always refinance.
100%.
Yep.
One more stat that I want to share with you guys is because people call us, hey, I want to get a foreclosure property. There ain't much. It's 1.5 of the inventory out there is a foreclosure. And guess what? They decreased by 11% month over month, meaning that nobody's letting their houses go because they have a beautiful rate. If they leave their house, they're going to pay more in rent. So it's just not there, guys. So
And
don't
most-
lie to yourself. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Most people have equity in their homes as well. I mean,
100%.
how much
Why would they leave it? Like,
how much did homes appraise in the last 3 years? I mean,
Yep.
they
So-
appreciate it quite a bit. So, again, guys, if you're on the fence, again, we have rock stars. These guys, they're great negotiators. They'll
Thank
get the best deal possible for you with the minimum of effort. And we have a team, so you don't have to do it alone. And why pay for one guy when you can get 10 for the price of one, right?
Yep. Well, that's what the Grimaldo Group is here for. We
Exactly.
love helping families, our clients, our potential future clients, create wealth through homeownership.
Amen.
And we thank you for your time. Any
Thank you.
last words?
no, just thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Looking forward to working with you.
God
Take
bless.
care.